rope.
You can't roll off of it, you know? You just ran on a rope.
Or I'm gonna have to always climb up from that side over
Yeah.
because the railing is on this side.
On the right, yeah. The thing is, if we put a ramp there, then when I get mad at you, I can just push you.
Very nice. I don't need a ramp, I just need a handle.
Yeah.
Right?
No, we need them on both of the outsides, actually.
We had many years
So we
ago
can get
at
some
like
2x4s and just do it
meetup.
really
It could
fast.
be running. It's
Won't be
7
pretty, but it'll be-
or
We'll
7.
be there though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd met at that event.
1 minute, Tony. Tracy, do you mind hitting the light switch? Thank you. It should be just the light switch that we need. Real quick, run behind that. Make sure it actually works.
Check.
Yes. Yeah, well, check, volume, check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
See, this is so much better on this side. Okay, I gotta tease you. Thank you for indulging me.
Oh, look what you
Did you trip over my sticks?
Well, we can't start the flag until the pledge until. There, that
Did I
works.
fix it?
Yeah, it's good enough.
Okay.
It'll work. Okay. All right. We're all here. So we'll call this regular meeting of the Kalamazoo Township Board of Trustees to order at 7:31. Trustee Sherwood, here to lead us in the pledge.
I would love to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will proceed to a roll call of board members. Trustee Kennedy,
Here.
Treasurer Miller,
Here?
Trustee Sherwood.
Here.
I'm Supervisor Combs, Trustee Glass.
Here.
Clerk Mackey,
Here.
and Trustee Leonard.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda this evening? Seeing none, we will proceed to our first of 2 public comment periods this evening. If you'd like to make a public comment, please step to the podium, let us know your name and where you live, and you will have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Township Board. My name's Dave Plowski. I'm with the Road Commission of Kalamazoo County and liaison to Kalamazoo Township. Just want to say hi to the supervisor, the entire Township Board, Township Superintendent. A couple of things to announce from the Road Commission. We're hiring, so we are hiring a road maintenance operator and a mechanic, 2 positions that we have open. As far as road maintenance operator, I say if you like to work outdoors in the summertime and by yourself in the wintertime, we got a job for you. So we still offer a pension, so it's a good job, good benefits, so encourage people to apply for those positions. I see later on the agenda, you're gonna be having a motion to talk about, or moving your meeting to have a joint meeting with the Road Commission. We look forward to that. Make sure if you have agenda items you would like to discuss at that meeting, pass those on to your staff, and your staff can go tell our staff so they can be prepared for your questions at that meeting. So our board policy is always have good relations with the townships, with the drain office, with the public utilities, and we want to continue to do so. One of those examples recently is we've taken over the equipment storage for the Office of Emergency Management for Kalamazoo County, saving the county tens of thousands of dollars a year, and we're really glad to do that and happy to host that equipment in our facilities. So I also want to thank the Westwood Neighborhood Association for inviting me to many things, and I look forward to working with them in the future. I will be here for the rest of the meeting if there's any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Additional public comment this evening? Superintendent, is there any public comment on Zoom? Thank you very much. With that, we will proceed to the consent agenda. Clerk Mackey?
I will move to approve the consent agenda as recommended by the superintendent and supervisor.
Support?
There's a motion and support. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The motion carries. Thank you very much. An efficient meeting this evening. We will proceed. There is no public hearing this evening. There also is no old business to consider, so we will proceed directly to new business. Now, I will briefly introduce this first item of new business. However, I do want to call attention to the agenda packet. This is an agenda item brought forward jointly by myself as a supervisor, the treasurer, and the clerk, so they're the three officers of the board. And this is a motion to adopt a resolution, which I will read momentarily, granting pay adjustments to Kalamazoo Township employees. I'd also like to note in the agenda item request that this has been vetted both for funds availability in the current fund balance and has been reviewed by legal counsel. That said, I will go ahead and make a motion to adopt the resolution granting a one-time pay adjustment for township employees, which reads as follows. Whereas the Kalamazoo Township Board values the exemplary service and continued dedication of its employees, and whereas the board has engaged in multiple discussions over the past 2 years regarding compensation strategies to support employee recognition, retention, and operational excellence, and whereas the board has the authority to approve compensation adjustments at any point during the fiscal year or during annual budget deliberations, now therefore be it resolved that the Charter Township of Kalamazoo Board authorizes a one-time payroll adjustment to be issued through the third payroll cycle in the month of June 2025. Be it further resolved that the township superintendent shall prepare any necessary budget adjustments and process the special payroll to mirror one regular bi-weekly payroll, including all legally required withholdings. Be it further resolved, that eligibility for this adjustment shall be limited to township employees who are actively employed on the date of this resolution and who have recorded hours worked within the preceding 7 days. Be it finally resolved that this adjustment shall be considered a one-time action and shall not be interpreted as a precedent for future compensation decisions. All resolutions or parts of resolutions in conflict herewith are hereby repealed.
Support.
There's a motion and support. We'll open the floor for discussion. Well, I'll dive in then. I will just say, I know from my time as a resident and prior to becoming supervisor, that recognizing employees, our fantastic employees here at the township, via a pay adjustment like this was discussed, going back as far as the ARPA, American Rescue Plan, funds that came in at that time and was never acted upon. And so this is an opportunity to deliver on the discussion that has been had for quite some time. And I also, as we all, I think, are aware, that Kalamazoo Township, its public safety, police and fire, and its administrative service are the envy of Kalamazoo County because of our staff, and because of the people that are showing up at this building and our fire stations every single day. So I'm thrilled and proud to be able to make this motion. Additional discussion. Treasurer.
Thank you. I am honored and very pleased to see this come forward today. It has been in discussion for several years, and it states in this resolution to recognize the employees, to keep them working with us, and the operational excellence that they do perform each and every day on the job. And I just can't say thank you enough for all the work that gets done and all the support that this team has for one another. So I'm very pleased that we're moving forward on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, we will proceed to a vote, a roll call vote, as this is a resolution. We'll begin with Treasurer Miller.
Yes.
Trustee Kennedy,
Yes.
Trustee Leonard,
Aye.
I'm an aye. Clerk Mackey,
Aye.
Trustee Glass,
Aye.
and Trustee Sherwood.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The motion carries. Thank you all. We'll proceed to our second of two new business items this evening, and this is a carryover on discussion from our work session. The motion to approve moving the next board work session and regular meeting to July 7th from July 14th. As we discussed during our work session, the Kalamazoo County Road Commission has very kindly offered to join us for a joint session at which we are currently targeting, as discussed, July 7th at 6 p.m., which would be the slot usually allocated for our work session. The action required of us then would be to move our meeting to July 7th. I believe, yes, I submitted this agenda item, so I'll go ahead and make the motion, and we can, if there's a second, open for any additional discussion. So I will move to establish a joint meeting with the Road Commission to be held at the July 7th, 2025 work session and move our regular board meeting from July 14th to July 7th, 2025, and post as such in all required places.
Support.
There's a motion and support. Any discussion?
I would just say that as we discussed in our work session, I think there will be some outreach to the community to kind of help us all prepare on what some themes come about in terms of questions or what people would like to discuss, and then we plan on submitting that, to all of us, so we understand, and then to the road commission as well, so they can prepare and sort of know the questions that people have and some of the information that they might want to gather for the discussion. So be on the lookout for those, or as always, I think you can email or call or go on the website and submit your questions and anything that you want to discuss.
Thank you. I saw trustee Sherwood and then trustee Kennedy.
Yeah, I'm just grateful that this opportunity has presented itself for our community, for our residents. And I think this is very much in the spirit of kind of our collaborative approach to local government. And I want to say thank you to the Road Commission, thank you to this board. And I'm really excited to see what comes out of this for our community. I think it's a really good start.
Trustee Kennedy?
So I'm really pleased that we are moving this to July 7th so that we can work with the road commission, and we appreciate their willingness to come and talk with us and talk with our community and answer questions. And as trustee Glass mentioned, we are going to ask for residents to please submit questions, send them to any one of us on our online. You can call us, you can call the superintendent. I'm sure she'd be glad to field those calls or have someone field those calls. So whatever medium works for you best. I want to make sure that you feel all included, and not to mention being able to come in and just speak during public comment time. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional discussion? Seeing none, we will proceed to a roll call vote. Trustee Leonard?
Aye.
Clerk Mackey?
Aye.
Trustee Glass?
Aye.
Trustee Sherwood?
Aye.
I'm an aye. Treasurer Miller?
Aye.
And Trustee Kennedy?
Aye.
The motion carries. Thank you very much. That concludes our new business for the evening, and no items were removed from the consent agenda, so we will proceed to board reports. Trustee Sherwood?
Yeah, first of all, I hope everyone's staying cool out there, or as best as you can. I want to encourage everyone to get outside, stay in the shade, find some cool water. But if you need to take a break, obviously go indoors where there's some AC. We have an event coming up in the Westwood. It's actually directly in support of the Westwood Neighborhood Association. But if you like pizza, which being a Michigander, I assume you probably do, or you at least encountered it, they're having a fundraiser for the Westwood Neighborhood Association this Wednesday, 5:30 to 7:30 at BC Pizza. And just make sure to mention the association if you want to support that group. But they're part of the community. It's a great opportunity to eat some pizza. And I think that's all I have for today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Trustee Glass?
I don't have a lot, but thanks for mentioning that. I'm going to try to make it out there too for the Westwood. I just want to say that we have recently revamped our parks in the township. The Eastwood Park has received a bunch of new playground equipment, new grills, and we're working on just really keeping those parks nice and maintaining them. We have a dedicated individual that has been going around and making sure, a dedicated employee now, which we did not have before, that is going around and cleaning them up and taking care and fixing things. But there has been some instances of, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank, some instances of, vandalism. Thank you for the word. There has been some instances of vandalism where we've had to already replace some of the new things, had to do some cleaning in the grills of things that we really shouldn't have to. So I would just ask, we really want to make our parks nice and keep our parks nice. So if you can just keep an eye out, and if you see people doing those things, you know, maybe just call someone, let us know. Try to keep our parks nice, because we have spent a good chunk of money now making them nice, and we have a person that is going around working really hard to keep them that way. So, yeah, that's all.
Thank you very much. Clerk Mackey?
I don't have a report tonight, but I did want to I didn't make any comments when we talked about the motion to adopt the resolution with the pay adjustment. But I just want to say that I'm really grateful for the support of all the employees here. I can't say how much it personally affects me to carry out my duties as clerk, to have such a great team here. And I'll say that I've worked at a lot of places in my life where didn't have this kind of team, and every day I come here and I'm grateful, and I love what I do, and a lot of that is attributed to the people here that are so kind and hardworking. And so I feel really great about recognizing the hard work of our employees here.
Thank you very much. Trustee Leonard?
I would also echo the BC Pizza fundraiser. I live across the street, and it's delicious pizza and delicious breadsticks, so definitely go. And that is all I have.
All right. Treasurer Miller?
Thank you. I have a couple events. The first one is coming up on Wednesday. It is at the Northwood Fire Station, and it's the blood drive. The time is from 10 to 2:30, and they said you can walk in, but if you could make an appointment, that would be helpful as well. I'm hoping to be able to get this on our Kalamazoo Township app as well as our website. The other event that I would like to share is a Community Homeworks tool library. And that is also on Wednesday from 2 to 4. So the tool library is set up for anyone. You can go to Community Homeworks, which is on 812 Bryant Street, and sign out a tool. And they have a vast majority of small to very large tools. And they are asking that if you want to be a member, you could give a $35, I think it's an annual membership. But if you can't afford that, that's okay. They just want to help the community and help any people who are in need, or, you know, maybe a business getting started up who doesn't have enough of the tools to do all the work that they're wanting to do. But they are really about taking care of the communities. And I talk of all communities in Kalamazoo County. I was very impressed when I went to a luncheon there, and they talked about all the good that they're doing in the communities with just smiles and passion, and I couldn't thank them enough for what they do, because it's just amazing. So if you have an opportunity Wednesday, go give some blood at the Northwood Fire Station on Mazel, and then pop over to the tool library at Community Homeworks. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Kennedy?
Thank you. So, we all know how hot it is outside, and I just wanted to mention that the Kalamazoo County government, which of course we're a part of, has some cooling centers. So I see here HRI, I looked for it online, you can just go ahead, go to your Facebook page, and HRI has a cooling center from 10 to 4 p.m. HRI means Housing Resources. There's another one at the Gospel Mission, which a lot of people are familiar with. That's on Burdick Street, and that's Monday through Sunday from 9 to 4 p.m. The Portage District Library also, they have varied dates, but it looks like it's from 9 to 9 p.m. and the Portage Zang Senior Service Center. They also have staggered hours. They're on Center Avenue, and it looks like 7 a.m. to 7:30, give or take. I'm sorry, I don't have those phone numbers for them, but it's an opportunity to stay cool. It's also an opportunity to check on your neighbor and help your neighbor to be able to, just get somewhere where, in case they don't have air conditioning, et cetera, that they can go ahead and be at least comfortable, for as comfortable as they can be. I also want to talk about Eastwood, the Eastwood community meeting that we have every quarter in the Eastwood neighborhood is July 11th. That is from 5 to 6:30. What's on the agenda? We're going to get building updates. We're going to talk about taxes and where it's going, and climate. So I'm really looking forward to that. Of course, we have the community policing will also be available. And it's just an opportunity for you to get to know your neighbors, and to talk to us, trustees and supervisor and superintendent and your treasurer, about some of the concerns that you might have in our area. I always want to remind veterans that there are park passes available at the Veteran Service Office. All you have to do is go up there, and if you're a veteran, you'll get a free park pass for the county parks in Kalamazoo, the city park in Kalamazoo, and Robert Merrill Park, which is Comstock, and they're all located in that office. Portage also has park passes that are available for veterans, so you can get a lot of that information at the Veteran Service Office. I was very sad, just to kind of piggyback off of what Trustee Glass said about the parks. I know how hard she has worked, how hard that particular committee has worked, which I was a part of as well, to upgrade, especially Wilson Park, and the fact that some of the swings are broken, and people are, I don't know if they're residents, I'm not gonna just point fingers that way, but whoever it is doing this, is working very hard to tear apart some of the things that we worked hard to get, and that we really didn't have money for, and found a way to improve parks, because we heard you in the community say that one of the things that you wanted to see was an upgrade in parks. And so I am asking you, if you know someone that is destroying property, I'm gonna give you the phone number, and it is 269-488-8911, and if you don't get it now, if you play this back on PMN later, that number is there. It's the non-emergency number. You can also reach out to the township and speak to our community liaison officers. That's what they're about. And it's really important. It's a lot of money that went into that park, and several parks, but I walked that park, and I've gone to that park, and it broke my heart to see how quickly that some of the equipment was tore up. So if you could please report if you see any problems in that park to 488-8911, I'd be very grateful. I'm also happy that Treasurer Miller talked about community homeworks in the library. I was very fortunate to attend that initial meeting, and some of us residents, when we're trying to do repairs in our home, really don't have the tools to be able to take things apart, etc. I actually had a neighbor who wanted to know if they had an edger, so she can edge her property, and they didn't have one, and my understanding is they do have one now. So it's really kind of cool to just go and check out. Maybe you can help another neighbor fix something in their property. That would be a good thing. And then everything is always on a serious note with me when it comes to veterans. So I always want to remember everyone who is deployed. It is a tough time, especially these last few days. I know some veterans who are combat veterans and are struggling a little bit, and I want you to know that there is help out there. If you don't remember these numbers, you can certainly reach out to the township or reach out to me, and I'll be happy to get these numbers to you. But, you know, SWIMBA's number is 269-488-6853. ISK, which is Integrated Services of Kalamazoo, is 269-373-6000. You can ask for Juan Gonzalez. He's a veteran navigator like myself. But the easiest way in order to get help and have someone to talk to, whether you're a veteran or not, is to pick up the phone and dial 988. If you are a veteran, you can press the number 1, and that'll take you directly to a line that's with veterans. So we have to really do what we can to take care of those of us who work with those who have mental health, behavioral health, substance use, etc. And just know there are avenues out there where we can get support and help, and you do not have to go this alone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have just a few things this evening, some for members of this board, actually. First, to anyone in the room and anyone that watches on PMN later, we need you. There are 2 resident openings still for the Communications and Outreach Committee here at the Township. Those applications are open right now until June 30th. So please go on the website. It's posted there. You can fill out the application, send it to me, and we'll get that process rolling along to get you involved if you want to be. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call here at the office or reach out to me at supervisor@ktwp.org. But we really want to fill that committee out and start meeting. I know that members of our board who are on that committee really want to get to work. Next, a quick update related to the County Drain Commissioner's Office. So we received a letter at the township this week letting us know that a board of determination will meet regarding state ditch drain number 246 on Thursday, June 26th, down at the City Hall in the city of Kalamazoo, to discuss a petition that residents around the ditch drain had submitted in order to make some repairs and expansion to that drain. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's because that drain's not in the township of Kalamazoo. It is entirely utilized by city residents at this point. However, in conversations with our county drain commissioner, I learned that at the time of the drain's creation, it was in Kalamazoo Township. Our borders have shifted over time, which is how we ended up with that map. Because of that, we as a township are currently, on paper, on the hook for 45% of the cost to repair, maintain, and expand that drain. So I've received informal assurance from our drain commissioner and his office that that will be changed prior to this work beginning, so that the township will no longer be responsible for that cost, given that we no longer use the drain. But I will be attending the meeting on the 26th to speak on that during public comment and to make sure that that actually happens, so that we do not need to have that discussion, shall I say, in more substantive detail. But just an FYI that that will be happening. So if you see anything about it or you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. But that's what I know as of now. I also want to extend a thank you to our road commissioner who's present and the road commission for being willing to hold the joint session on July 7th. Thank you to our board for the collaborative nature there. And then just a couple other quick things. One, on a very positive note and a recognition of our superintendent, if you drive up Douglas Avenue to the north of the township, you'll see signs now on the side of the road that say the future home of the Kalamazoo Township campus. That's the property that the township is planning for, that we're planning to build our new campus on. And again, thanks to this board for making the tough decisions to get us there, and to our superintendent for doing so very much work. It's starting to feel real now that there are signs and boards up on the street. We'll see similar signs go up soon on Gull for the Eastwood Fire Station as soon as construction is ready or a little bit more advanced there on the old building and sign. And then finally, I'm going to mention one thing related to veterans as well, Trustee Kennedy. So Since our last meeting, it was the U.S. Army's 250th anniversary, as I think we all know, and there are, of course, a lot of things happening on the national stage, the global stage. But here at home, one hope that I always have and have always had for this board is that no matter who any of us are, no matter what our backstory is, we can sit in those seats and see ourselves in this board. And I am grateful, especially given the milestone of the Army's 250th anniversary, that we have not only a U.S. Army veteran representing the armed forces and veterans on our board, but in Trustee Kennedy, a veteran who spends her day job, or I can't imagine more than 6 minutes of her week that she's not doing township work, serving veterans in our part of Michigan and beyond. And so we're very grateful to have you representing veterans on our board. With that, we'll proceed to the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Two things. First, July 28th was our second board meeting in July. We are planning to do our first unveiling of the Eastwood Fire Station at our 6 o'clock work session. So we're talking about doing that open house. We may have some preliminary interjections of the community campus, but we are going to start putting out there that July 28th. The architects will come again with a more formal model for us to go over and have discussion on. So that'll be great. It will feel even more real than it does now. And then secondly, all of you have said a lot of thank yous tonight, and I want to say thank you to all of you. I can tell you tomorrow morning when the employees come in, and they truly all will be surprised. When they get this email this evening that said you approved their pay adjustments, they are going to want me to very significantly say thank you to all of you. So you may hear from some of them, but I just want to make sure to tell all of you that tomorrow's going to be a very exciting morning for them. So, and we are always appreciative of them, but are appreciative of you for thinking about that as well. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. That brings us to our second public comment. If you'd like to make a public comment, once again, step to the podium. You'll have 3 minutes. Let us know your name, where you live.
Again, Dave Pulowski from the Road Commission. Just want to thank the comments from the Township Board tonight. Appreciate it very much. And just let you know that we are willing to come out here annually and do a joint meeting, not just this year, but every year. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other public comments? We good? Superintendent, do we have any public comments on Zoom? Thank you very much. There is no closed session with this evening, and so we are adjourned at 8:02. Thank you all. Almost.
So, superintendent,
We actually got business done too.
said July 28th at 6 o'clock.